So here we are looking at the Adidas, I think it's the Tencza. Yeah, I think it's called the Tencza, but it basically is the replacement of the ZX500. And first off, let's just get to the negatives. This sole sucks. It just sucks. It's just like all the other single mold EVA foam soles that just you slip walking through an icy parking lot. You slip, just even a very experienced rider will slip and slide out and maybe do the splits on you know, hard snow to icy snow chair line. And it's just pathetic. I just wish they'd put a layer of rubber across the top, or just a little patch here, a little patch here. But yeah, there's no love for the sole here. That's a huge problem for me. Shock absorption, good. It's not bad. I mean, I really wish it had a little more. It's a little harder than you would think, but it works. It works well. You know, they've got a single BOA now, which is fine. It cranks down pretty well, and I didn't really notice any pressure points throughout the shape of the tongue, where with the ZX500 last year I noticed a little bit, but not that much. And this time I almost noticed nothing, and I rode it a full day without, usually I give up the first day and ride it a second day, ride it the first day for like a few hours, then give up, go home, put it in a heater, like a boot dryer all night, and then go out and ride it again, and this time I didn't have to give up and put on an old favorite. I could stay all day on these, and I tested a bunch of boards. One thing I noticed that really surprised me, the response is much better than the Samba and the Samba and the Superstar. And look at this, I can't really get it to forward flex that easy. It starts out pretty stiff. It starts out, I would say, medium stiff, but it's got like, I could feel it break down a little bit over time, just over the day, and you can see it's starting to get some wrinkles here and here, but I felt no pressure on the roof of my feet. I felt no pressure points along the whole roof here. And the liner, I believe it's new. It seems very similar to last year's, but it was comfortable, and it felt a little more comfortable than last year's. The flex retention isn't going to last. This is going to start out stiff, medium stiff, but I imagine after 30 to 40 days, this will be medium soft. Maybe, and as you get past that, probably get to soft. It'll probably become a sock over time. But I like where they started with this, because it gives it a little time to break in, and it's still brand new, had more response than the Adidas Superstar with the power strap. So I was impressed. It felt like it was kind of like hanging up there at first with the response in the tactical ADV. It's kind of up near that area, but I just don't expect that to last. The BOA seems to just ratchet well. I felt no pressure points from the BOA. I'm not a single BOA fan because I like adjustability. I like upper and lower adjustability. But at this price point, this is all you get if you want BOA. I mean, it's really hard to find a double BOA, and anything close to this price point, which I think is like around 200. And if this wasn't for the sole, this would be a pretty recommendable boot. It's pretty light, but just this sole, it's like only use in soft snow. Use at your own risk. But I was surprised that this boot could turn boards like, like my loaded Algernon and my Oz Woody, usually like a more, like a boot like the Response or like the Tactical ADV. and this thing just owned it. It was right there with them. I don't think 3 weeks from now it would be if we rode this every day, but it worked and it did well. And with the sizing, I'm a 9, and this felt at first a little bit like a 9, but by the time I was done, it felt like a 9 1/4, and it packs out. So I'm not sure, like if I were to buy this, I might go with an 8 1/2 and hope it packs out a little bit. At first, my toes were touching when I stood straight, and then on a slight forward lean, they barely not touch, and that was good. But by the end of the day, I felt the liner start to conform to my foot and pack out a little bit, and I felt like maybe you might want to go 1/2 size down than what you normally do. If you're like normally a Burton 9, you might be an 8 1/2 in Adidas. You might be a 9 too. Every foot's different, but I love the wide feel, and all in all, the Tencza, it's not a bad boot. It's doable for the price point. It's just the traction. If this had good traction, it would probably be a good ride value favorite because it does a lot of things right. But because it doesn't have the traction, I'm very weary recommending this to anybody unless they're going out in soft snow. Because I've even almost slipped and fall. I almost slipped and fell a couple times with these on today, and it was mostly soft. So there you have it.